Really, what I saw was everybody sort of asking about Web3. I'm looking up here as the different persons that are coming in there. I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to look at it, to ask questions. We'll go through some of the libraries. We'll go through some of the examples, but I'm not going to go through step by step, like follow along. We'll have a chance to talk about different things. This is an open space. We feel free to stop me at any moment. I'll repeat that a little bit later as well. But I am not a person who gets affected if you stop in the middle of the conversation. Learning from the great Dari, I am able to go and say, we'll talk about that later if it's something that will take a long time to explain and won't move the conversation forward. So please, everybody should feel free to open up your discussions, your questions, and ask me as much as you can. Here's a question for all of you. Tell me.
So any status updates on the Web3 course from Boca?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for bringing that up. So at this moment, I don't know what the exact date is going to be. I think it's been pushed to June or July. So just for everybody else to know, I'll be teaching the Crypto Web3 NFT course at Boca Code, a local code camp here in Boca Raton. That was originally scheduled for, I think, April or May, and that has been pushed to June or July. Just requirements by the state education board.
I thought it was actually December because
when
I called, when I called somebody answered the phone. I'm sorry, I can't remember who at Boca. I said,
sure.
I asked about courses in general. She said it was December. So I'm good with June because that's early.
I love it. Yes, I'm glad you asked that. So maybe I should go and talk to them and find out if they truly are, moving back to December and all that. I doubt it. I think that the idea is that.
Well, it's a good thing that I found out, because if I started trying to sign up in November, it'd be a little late.
No, I mean, we always do move forward. You know what I mean? There's always a repeating event that's probably going to that goes for the bootcamp, become a regular developer, but it also goes for the crypto project. It will be, as we finish it, it's usually about a 2-month project because of the fact that it's at night. So, it's spread out a little bit more than 2 months actually. And then, but, able to do it at around this time. So usually people can, eat while they learn and ask different questions. So this will be a quick glance at what it'll look like, but really, I'm here to answer all the different questions. I'm not going to hold anything back. If there is a question and I have an answer, I'll provide that for everybody. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will probably start around 6:45. Just wanted to remind everybody, feel free to ask any questions, to unmute yourselves. If you do not have to, feel free to use the chat. I will go ahead and give me a second. I'm going to go and let the dog out.
So I'm going to ask if anybody can hear me.
Everybody can hear you. Yes, sir.
Okay, it works.
Oh my!
Now I'll go shut up again.
No, Craig, quite the opposite. Tell us why you, the master of voting, is interested in a system that is, anti-censorship and allows for votes. Is that something that's interesting to you?
Well, of course, I haven't invested much in time in Bitcoin or NFTs financially, but I'm just trying to stay alert to what's going on. And when I heard about DAOs and how DAOs are using voting, I got very interested. And I guess the background is that I'm kind of a ranked choice voting wonk and very interested in that aspect of real world voting, because if we're going to stand up for democracy anywhere, we have to stand up for democracy here. And if these kind of tools make people somehow more enthusiastic about learning about ranked choice voting somehow, or just regular balloting, so much the better. But I have a lot to learn, so I'm here to listen and see what's being said.
Love it. Fantastic. Thank you for that, Craig. Always interesting, your take on things. I know you love democracy more than us, so I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Hey, speak for yourself, man.
Indeed. I meant to say me. I do apologize. I can only speak for myself. when it comes to anything like that. No. I don't have any issues with that. So let's start with the following. Something that I want everybody to try. You don't have to install it to be part of this, but if you want, everybody of you will be getting an NFT. Unfortunately, I screwed up, and the NFT won't have the logo I expected it to have. But you will get one out of it, and more importantly, you will learn how to create one yourself, and you'll see the documentation that I'm using to do so. We'll go ahead and together we'll go ahead and learn about it and try all the different technologies you can. But what I want everybody to go to, I'm going to put here in the chat, is go to metamask.io if you haven't done so already. And essentially the question is, do you have an Ethereum wallet? You'll need one of this on your, you'll notice if you go to metamask.io/download that you can install it on your Chrome browser. It only works in Chrome or Edge, any Chrome-based browser. And once you do that, you can sign your login, and if you wish, and you'll see that we'll get to a website where you can sign in as you. This might be interesting to crack. It is how we can truly prove that it's us, right? There's no way for you to have my username and password in my Gmail. Now you're logged in as me. There's no way to do that, since cryptography allows us to sign something without giving away our private key. But you can also do it from your Android phone or your iOS phone. So you are welcome to follow along here, and not install it, say, if you like a browser that's other than Chrome and you don't have that as an option. You can go ahead and go to your iPhone or Android, download the MetaMask app, make sure it's the right one, and then you'll be able to, sort of be part of the NFT giveaway that we're going to give at the very end. And more importantly, try different things out there that you can try, which whether you get one of the NFTs from me or not, you'll have a password, a way to log in and prove that who you are and things like that. So I would suggest everybody go to, it's in the chat, metamask.io/download. So let's see, it's a couple of minutes more just to reiterate. I will be going from the slides, and this one you do want to go ahead and follow me on, slides.floridajs.com. A lot of the links are going to be there. So I won't just be able to copy them. Maybe someone can help me with that, but it's not required. If you go to slides, you'll be able to do that. Like I mentioned over here, you would click on this. It will install a plugin. This is one of the suggested wallets we're going to use Ethereum. You can also install it on your iOS and Android. And this is also a browser. And some of the things that you may have heard saying to do with the Ethereum or with NFTs, anything you're like, well, I can't have it on my phone. It's really only meant for the desktop. Is not true. With this and many other wallets, you can do it from your iPhone.
Damian, so you said slides at floridajs.com? Yes,
sir. So let's do that. Yes.
We have to ask for, I'm guessing it's a Google slide? Or you have to ask
is it asking for permission? Have you gone to it and asking you for permission?
Yes, I request access.
Bear with me here. Let's go ahead and click. And I do apologize. I will go ahead and do that. So bear with me here as I hide how I make that magic happen. So I don't know if you guys all need to update, but at this moment, the slides should be free. So let's confirm that.
I got it.
Darius, is that true?
Slides.floridajs.com. Yeah, I accessed it.
And now working. Okay. So I just changed the permissions on it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure. So anybody want to tell me as far as what their experience is with NFTs, or do they have any? Are they interested in learning something specific? We'll start in about a minute more. If you do, feel free to open up on the chat. I know I talk. I should wait, right? I'm an extrovert, so when I talk, I stop talking. I gotta count to 20.
Yeah, not 10, right? I don't have that experience. I've been trying to get into this slowly. I was trying to get a Dari.eth, and I had to pay a ridiculous amount of money for gas fee, which is not fun. I was up until 3 a.m. this morning trying to register Dari.eth.
Yes.
And then after I was finished to do the reverse order or reverse lookup, it was another $30. I was like, what?
Really? That should be free. That should be free. And we'll look into, there's some components for React that will allow you to do the magic of you putting, Dari.eth, and then all of a sudden, instantly it converts it through an API lookup. But the backend will receive your actual wallet as opposed to, anything else there. So love to see more about it. Please share with the rest of the group if you can about what am I doing here? I'm trying to focus. That's what I was trying to do. Be focused. All right. So let's see. There's a little chat. Oh, that's me chatting in the chat. All right. So Dari, if you can help me out and Tal as well, go ahead and let me know if you guys do see a pop-up saying there's someone in the waiting room. Just go ahead and let them in.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Thank you, my friend. All right, guys. So my name is Damian Montero. I'm the one presenting here. I'm going to one more time. Please feel free to go ahead and interrupt me with any questions you have. This interruption, just you are adding to the slide, and we are definitely going to have a lot of spot and a lot of pauses to ask questions where I'm going to assume certain things. Stop me. Let me know whether that makes sense to you, whether you know what I mean by that, et cetera, et cetera. Also, let me know if you cannot hear me. I'm using a Bluetooth wireless headset, which works very, very well. One more time, as you can see there in the screen, if you go to metamask.io/download, even if you don't have a Chrome-based browser on your laptop or you're on your phone, there is a way to install MetaMask on your iOS or iOS device, iPhone and iPad, or your Android, again, tablet, and things like that. Chromebook, Mac, Linux, it does not matter if it's Chrome-based, your browser, it will install this plugin. All this plugin does, it does not have anything, but for example, it can create a wallet you can have on your system. And now you can do things like interactions. And one of the talks we're going to be talking about here is all the different things you can do with NFT. And more importantly than that, for developers, what libraries you could use to achieve this goal. Okay. So, you're here at FloridaJS. So if you can do me a favor, if you ever see something missing in this event, in any of the events, or you want to see prior videos, including this one right now is being streamed right now to YouTube. But you can see that if you go to floridajs.com, the very bottom, not the very bottom, kind of in the bottom of the above the folder that's called the page that comes up, you'll see kind of, sort of last videos of whatever event it is. And if you go right now, actually, you should see this video. My name is Damian Montero. I'm reading ahead, apparently. I'm reading between the lines. I have over 23 years experience in the biz, as in the career. I've been a programmer for all my life, the whole time. Now I am a developer, mentor and trainer for SRT Labs, but truly for the purpose of this, you should know that I'm also a trainer in Crypto and NFT for a course that's going to come up. We haven't really decided when it's going to come up for the Boca Code. If you go to bocacode.com and contact anybody there, they'll let you know when the course is coming up here. But again, I'm not trying to sell the course in no way whatsoever. If there is anything I can give you here, I want to give you. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm not going to say, well, let's talk about that in the course. None of that will be there. I'm going to make an assumption that you know a little bit of JavaScript, even if you know the basics, assumption of what a website is, there's some code in the back end, there's some code on the front end, right? The back end is the APIs and the servers and all that. And then the front end is what you see, the website, that's more interactive. I love me some IST, JavaScript, and I'm the co-founder of what you are right now seeing, FloridaJS. All right. Oh, we were supposed to have a sponsor, and I forgot to contact them. So if they are on here, please let me know. But otherwise, we will have it in the future. But no big deal. It is just how do we learn about JavaScript and how to make it work. So again, I'm concentrating not on something that a lot of the presentations might, which is the sort of my goodness, I'm blanking out here, but I'm not concentrating on the overall idea of NFTs. So, but we'll talk a little bit about that, how NFT works, how Web3 works, what it means to do that. But we'll concentrate a lot on the libraries and all that. So hopefully that is what you want to see with that. Bear with me here. I apologize. I'm going to move. I had here the wrong information. Sorry about that. One of the screens that you will see in the future has pictures that I didn't want to share with everybody else. All right. On the YouTube video is what I'm talking about. All right, so I like most Bitcoiners, I like the technology. I'm not in it for the money, and this is actually pretty true. Unlike what you see the poster here, my purpose here is that I fell in love with Bitcoin and crypto and Ethereum, especially. I was there before they announced it down in Bitcoin Miami, which by the way is happening next week. BTC conference Miami. I have a 25% off discount. Let me know if you want. I'll show you how to contact me a little bit later. But I truly say do what I was doing here. I love this technology and I find it fascinating. And just to let you know, I am one of those people that will let the air out of the balloon. In what I'm trying to say there is I will express and show you as developers or as people that love technology what's actually happening behind behind the curtain. And so therefore that might disinflate or it sounds a lot better in Spanish, what it is that the magic is happening. You'll actually find out what the magic is. Okay. So just the basics. You've heard this a million times. Just bear with me. I'm going to say it one more time, just for anybody that happens not to know. There was the Web 1.0, and they're talking about the original idea of the web, and it was supposed to be sort of everybody has their own web servers. We used to have our own web servers. Me and Dari are old enough that we used to set up web servers for a company, and that company would have a physical box in the corner, usually on somebody's desk, which was easier to kick and turn off. That was a feature, not a bug. And then we went to Web 2.0. Web 2.0 meant that Google and things like that came up. I'm sorry, Dory, did you have a story about how you were the expert and usually the computer was underneath your desk and you were good at kicking at it? Because I know you're good at soccer.
No, not at all. It was more like in a closet somewhere.
Yeah. See, well, you were in again, one more time, you've proven that you were in sophisticated, well-organized, sleek companies while most of the stuff was sitting under the secretary's desk where the companies that I worked at. Web 2.0 came around and when sometimes they call it Web 2.0, they call it 2.0, and there is that we all live on servers and we're all good, but for example Amazon goes down and half the internet goes down. What happened to the original concept of everybody having the web servers? We solved that. Web 3, not Web 3.0, they call it Web 3, and they're not trying to say Web 3.0, and I apologize for the slide. Really, in this situation, what we want to know is that there's supposed to be this concept that, for example, if Twitter goes down, it takes everything with it, and it went out of business, right? So if there was a particular GeoCities, my wife had this revolutionary company where she essentially created leads and people that wanted to go study in Canada. So she had this one website that if you typed in, study English, and you said it in Spanish, that website would come up first. And this was revolutionary, especially because it's 1990s. She is a revolutionary woman. That's why I married her. And so this woman, what she had is an amazing website. But the second GeoCities went down, her whole business went out, right? Because it was hosted by somebody else. No, well, if it was her own server, she could move it around and say, making a good business. So I'll move it to somewhere else, or I could host it somewhere. So the difference with Web3, they say that the data can live on the blockchain. So, oh my goodness, GeoCity goes down, but the GeoCity contents remains, and you can now bring it back up somewhere. So that's also one of the images that you have there. One more time, if you want to be included in the NFT giveaway, go ahead and make sure you have an Ethereum wallet, and that essentially means going to metamask.io/download, click on install. It is a plugin into your browser. There will be a lot of things that you can sort of ignore at the beginning of the presentation or throughout, and then you can also stop me if you have any questions about it. I can't do too much support, so just follow along with the wizard, and you'll have a way to go ahead and accept the NFT, or more importantly, see what it is that I'm doing and follow along later should you wish to. One of the things sometimes people don't understand is how this Web3 works. If you look in the top left corner, we still have the front end. I'll try to so you can kind of see where I am, hopefully in the cursor. And we have essentially React. We have a regular website, and the regular website does regular website things. It goes to a backend, and it can do things in the Express, and it can hit a database. So this is nice and boring. There's nothing special about it. But what we added here is that the Ethereum network, this magic stuff, which is blockchain, it lives as if it was on a different network, on a completely different, disconnected magic machine that lived in space. And if you think about it, there has to be a way that we interact with it. And at this moment, we interact with it using some plugins that add functionality to the browser. If you have the Brave browser, for example, you don't need this plugin. And this functionality allows you to interact with services like Infura and Morales, which are regular websites similar to Google or Twitter or some kind of other API that you have some information from. And they are the ones who communicate with the network. MetaMask also communicates with the networks, but by the way, I won't lie to you, it communicates with networks through these third-party services. So some of the things you'll see is some of the libraries we're going to use. We're going to learn how to use them. We'll show you examples of them. They won't go too much into detail because, again, I want you all to remember that slides.floridajs.com has these slides, and you can see these links. But do you guys have any questions about it? This is the front end, as in the browser, React, Angular, plain basic. This is the backend, like your regular API. There's database. The backend is whatever. And both the front end through MetaMask and the backend through libraries like Web3, which is actual library, Web3.js, they communicate with the real separate network, which you just think of is living out because we need ways to go through it, and they interact with the network of blockchains. Any questions at this moment?
How do you spell the floridajs.com/what for the presentation?
Great question. So let's go to the beginning. It's Florida slides at the very top of the screen, slides.
Got it. Okay. Got
FloridaJS. Florida is in the state you live in, JS is in JavaScript. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So you'll be able to see the slides in this. Yes, Tel, you have some questions, please bring them up.
Yeah, hi, my name's Alfred.
Alfred, how are you?
It's floridajs.com?
Yes.
Okay, got it. But the question is, my concern is, I don't know if it's a question so much. Well, actually it is a question. So my concern is that the blockchain itself requires a lot of work, a lot of energy.
Yes.
And this is one of the reasons I haven't gotten into NFTs in a big way, either, in any way, really, so far. So how do you address that? How do you square that?
Okay, I mean, we'll do a little bit on this, but this is not really the point of this presentation. So the question, I think, Alfred, is there's been a talk about the ecological, as in the environment cost of the blockchains. Are we talking about that as a cost, or are we talking about physical money? Alfred, would you be able to let me know?
Yeah, sure. So my concern is that it's using up all of these resources, and that it's of course it's going to cost money, but it's also going to take valuable resources away from things like electric cars, for instance, which we need to reduce our carbon footprint, as an example.
Okay. Sounds good, Alfred. I'm going to continue with presentation, but I'll give you a quick synopsis. There's an Ethereum 2 and other ways to solve this. They are utilizing about 3% of the energy. So the ecological connection, the environmental connection will be reduced. And so no longer will be a concern. This same solution is also addressing the fact that sometimes things, as Dari will give you an example of, has reduced the cost. Dari was looking for a service that cost $5. He was glad to pay that $5, but there was a $70 fee to interact with the Ethereum network, and so therefore this is a $75 service, right? So think of it like $5, but there's a $75 tax, and so that's expensive. Most of the things are addressed with a modern version of Ethereum that's coming up, I believe, by the middle of the year, if not the end of the year. It's been the beginning of the year, or the end of the year for the last 5 years, but let's just get to the point that it will come up there, and so that will be something that will be addressed. So you can take it as something that you can you can live with now, with the future coming, similar to how we live with gas cars, but we know that the future is electric car. Does that address your concern?
It certainly does. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alfred. A great question. Okay, so let me go right into it. There'll be a lot of examples where we get more into it like that, but I just want you to remind yourself, slides.floridajs, right? The organization is floridajs.com. Florida is in the state, JS is script. So slides.floridajs.com has all these links. The first one is Infura. We'll go into it in a minute when I come out and I go to the slides, and we'll talk about the different URLs, but that's one of them that I just want to remind everybody that we have here, okay? And actually, we might jump into that. Let's jump into that right now. So there's Infura, and that's one of the places you want to use this. These are the services that give you a lot of instant access to something you may have heard in the past called IPFS. It gives you easier access to that. You've heard of Ethereum. This gives you an easier access. And wallets that you've seen happening, services that you've seen sort of magically give you details, is using this as well as other services out there. So I just want to point this as one of the services. We'll look into it in other examples, but for now, I just want you to remind you it is infura.io. I'm going to stay here because most of them are in this situation. Let's look at some of the other ones. Again, this is one of these. I wanted to sort of touch on the different libraries. We'll go into some of them by, for example, I have usually examples of them from my GitHub repo. This is one of them. And in this example, you can see that this is regular JS. I'm going to click on the one that says basic ethers.js. This is regular JavaScript. It is not too complicated. And this is essentially the example you would use to create a program that paid someone Ethereum. So if you wanted to, so you might say to yourself, do I need to do that right now? No, but if you get to, you'll see a lot of them when you get to a question where you're like, at this point of my code, I would like to pay someone Ethereum. They passed a point. They sold something. I want to pay them. They got a reward. They came to my event. Here you go. Here's $5 in Ethereum. This code, utilizing the Ethers library, would give you that. This is the people, and this is something that this is the wrong example. This is one of the Ethers on the libraries that's out there. Again, we'll go more deeply into how to use it. You can easily see it over there, but this is more of a taste of what's going on. And again, I want to open up the, if you do have any questions about that, just let me know. Yes, Tal is saying there's proof of stake and proof of work. I won't go too much into it, but that is the answer we're looking for. Definitely, Alfred. Thank you so much, Tal. Look in proof of stake. That is how Ethereum, one of the biggest, one of the ones where we as developers get the biggest bang for the buck in crypto is giving us something to do it by moving to a proof of stake as one of the options. The next one is Web3. This is a famous one. And you see chain safe here, and you're like, who is that? What's amazing is that it used to be the Ethereum people. So Ethereum, did I spell that right? So if you look at that, I clearly didn't spell that. I should know how to spell that.
You missed an I.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So if you look at that, so this is github.com. It's a little hard to see. Let me see if I don't know if when I zoom in like that, can you all see me zooming in? Do you see the huge screen of that? No.
I don't see
okay, very good. Very good. That only happens on mine. That's fine. Thank you, my friend. So we hear this is Ethereum. I'm going to press enter, and you'll see it changes. I think that the Ethereum folks, the people that created Ethereum, one of the biggest blockchains, have changed the name. But this Web3 is one of the libraries that we use along with Ethers. They go hand in hand, and originally is here. I thought I had an example of it. I do apologize. But this is one of the. We'll see it in a project that at the very end we'll together we'll collaborate to get our NFTs, to learn a little bit about NFTs, things like that in a second. But just want to point that out again. Slides.floridajs.com. You'll see these and many other ones. I have something that I want to push forward, and I won't go too much into it. But in the future, I want to showcase something that I think others haven't, and I have another example a little bit later. But we can use Ethereum as much more than just money or just a picture you can right click. We can use Ethereum and NFTs and addresses for signing in, a replacement to sign in with Apple or sign in with Google. You can sign in anonymously. We'll try that together. But that's one of the libraries that I would like to point out. It one that I created. If you go to sign in with web3.com, you'll see a nice little web page with that. Following that, and we now move on to another famous service. We were looking at Infura. Another very famous one is Moralis.io. Moralis is, again, a service that's used by a lot of different services, and allows you to do something like, for example, what if you wanted to do a backend that was only allowed to be logged in if you had a particular NFT? I didn't get a chance to do it, but here's the code that you can see on the screen under github.com/Damian/Moralis_NFT_owners. And so that could authenticate and let you figure out NFTs are and who owns them. And so this is something that you might want to investigate. So Moralis is an amazing little service. I'm going to go ahead and click on here on blogs. And in blogs, they have articles to do some amazing work of different things that you might say, wow, I wish I could make a Netflix in Web3. Well, let's read about it from their services. What about creating something in gaming, making it easy, figuring out who has NFTs, doing a lot of the work that we would do manually normally with these libraries. Moralis will help you do it. It is free for the majority of the things that I have there. I am logged in as one of the services, but it is something that we should look into. We'll go through a lot of these things. This is something that I would really love to again, we're going through libraries, and then we'll go over through any questions, any comments, and we'll try some things about it. I really want to emphasize this. I had an example of this. Unfortunately, I didn't put it together. These are React components, hooks, that let you do, for example, Dari, one of the people that spoke a little bit earlier, has Dari.eth. And if he types it in a particular input box, he would like it to not have the system in the backend to figure out. These little components that can instantly be copied and pasted onto your own project from little Web3 will give you some little quick ways to quickly show all the NFTs that belong to a user without having to code anything in the backend. Again, libraries that help us do the work, so that we don't have to learn how to change a tire. We just go to someone that changes for us.
Ian, I do have a question here. So if the whole appeal of Web3 and crypto in general is that it's all anonymous, right? Also, are we saying that those utilities can tell you every NFT owner user, given that they have access to your wallet?
Yes. So the thing, I love this conversation, this question. You know, I mean, is the NFTs anonymous? They are quasi-anonymous, as I would call it, more than anything else. If for example, we know that, you know, we mentioned a number of the time, if you find there is no Damian.eth, so let's do this ETH TLD lookup. So if there is, here's the domain service. If I type in, let's see if there's a Damian. If there is a Damian, it looks like this is a search. Oh, that is a bad interface. If there is a Damian, wow, I can't do anything. This is for fake. So if there is, there we go. Thank you, my friend. If there is something like that, if there happens to be one, if there's a famous one, then go ahead and really, this is available? How in the world did I not get this? All right, nobody get it quickly. Let me get it in a second. If there is one, there's Vitalik, right? So Vitalik. I should know this, by the way. I sat down there in the Toronto Bitcoin Ethereum, where I used to teach back in 2013, 14. Bitcoin. He was there, and scrappy little kid with his Bitcoin 2.0, and I was like, what the hell is this bullshit? Come on. So let's see, ETH domain or ETH domain. Let's go ahead and find that lookup. So the question was, you know, I mean, how do I? Is it anonymous? If I type in his name.eth, then technically there it is. I can tell that that's one of his addresses. So if I can, and the other thing is that I can click on that, and I can grab this, go to Etherscan. That's another service that's very interesting. Paste it here. This is sort of a Google for the Ethereum network, and see what's going on with him. So I've started in by knowing who he is, but I can now see the transaction that he's doing. So if I happen to have discovered by some coincidence that he's doing something, then I can go ahead and make a choice of figuring out what it is. And then if I can figure out that all his money doesn't stay here, let's see if we can see if he has, you know, I mean, right now he has exactly $1.61, and this gentleman gets sent money all the time. So he has to be moving it somewhere else. So if I can tell that he's moving it to another address, well, now I can connect these two addresses together. And then it moves to 5 other ones. Okay, well, one of them could be his mom, but it is connected with him. So he has some kind of knowledge of who that is, or at least more or less. So there is this kind of pseudo-anonymous kind of where there is, it is a number. I mean, I don't know about you, but you know, 1 billion people have seen that number and nobody has memorized it. Not until right now, and you know, Craig looks at it and instantly memorizes it. But other than today, nobody else has memorized that. But you know, with the blockchain, there isn't anything as anonymous. But to be fair, and this is a perfect continuation. I'd love for anybody that has an Ethereum. Now it's time to unmute yourselves. We're going to go to nft.floridajs.com. nft.floridajs.com. And what I wanted to show here, and I'll do the demo live here, is that this is how I'm going to send you an NFT. And to connect with what Dari just asked me, does the website know who I am? At this moment, no, it does not know who I am. But I'm going to use some of these services that we read about, that we saw a little while ago, to identify myself. In fact, we are developers. Let's look at the source code. I'm going to go ahead and ask for a particular way of doing things. And then I'm going to, if you go to this website, by the way, and you get a pop-up saying you need to install Metamask, then this part will not work unless you install Metamask. You'll see what's going on here. I'm going to click on this, and this third-party app called Metamask appears. It's part of my browser. It's not part of my operating system. So this will work on any browser I have, and stay with me because I have it synced. So when I switch to my Chromebook, for example, this knows about it. And It is asking me not to send it money or to allow me to do something, but to sign a message. And so at this moment, if I sign that message, because it hasn't communicated with that server, the moment I sign the message, the website knows at least my address. So it doesn't know that it's Damian that asked for this, but it at least knows my address. So, let's bring that back to your question. When I click on, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and on the back end, I'm going to go ahead and ask for another NFT. And surprise, surprise, I've been demoing and trying this out, so it reminds me, hey, one per customer, it costs me money, buddy. So it isn't, it's not going to send me another NFT. But to remind you, if there is somehow the website knows a little bit about me, and now I've shared my address with it, and then it can put those two together and know that my address that I just shared with it is me. In this case, the website is completely anonymous. It has no clue who I am, so it only knows there's an address. I can utilize this on the back end. It made a calculation and figured it out. But one of the things that it's doing right now is figuring out my address. And again, it only knows that. Dari, do you feel that answered your question about anonymous, or did I just?
So 100%. I guess once you started saying it, I was like, of course, like everything is supposed to be transparent on the blockchain. So if you have an address, it's like a thread, right? You can pull in that thread and see what comes off of there, and you could
exactly.
You wouldn't. I think I like your quasi-anonymous, a pseudo-anonymous term.
Yes,
because you don't really know that those addresses are for that person, but you can sort of take like an educated guess, and any sort of program that has access to this data, and can do it much faster than a person can.
Indeed, and then what's amazing, go. I heard some more people talking. Talk to me.
Oh, so Damian, I have it only installed on my mobile.
Excellent.
And when I go to that address, it says Metamask will come up and ask you to sign a message, but it says it can't find my wallet, and I do have my wallet app on this.
Understood. So one of the things is that the phone, let me see if I can do this. iPhone. Oh, I was sure I had the emulator here. Shoot. Let's see if we can see this. There is, what can I do that? I'm going to have to look into MetaMask, iPhone, browser. Let's see if we can get something. There is, as you know, with the mobile in MetaMask, there is, let me see if I can, if there is any which way to do it. There it is. There is, I'm going to try to see if we can get it away here. I was sure I had the emulator and I was going to show it to you live. But when you start the MetaMask, it will act like a wallet. Sign in, send money, receive money, yay. But on the top left corner, if you click on that, there is an option for a browser. And if there is, I'm not sure if there's a step required, Tal, please let me know if not. If you have already created, the browser in there is where you go to. So it's kind of weird. You're going to click on it, go to browser, which is the very bottom. It's if it's a third party. And the very, very bottom is going to go to a new URL. Or there's going to be a search box, maybe. Maybe it's improved, like it's a search box here. Yeah. Once you do that, go ahead and type in nft.floridajs.com, and you will have it inside here, and you'll be able to interact with it as we are interacting with it here on this page. So you'll be able to click on it. MetaMask will switch. It will be a whole app, and you'll be able to sign. And this is important, and please be aware of this. If you click on it, it's not, my website says signature requested. If it's telling you send or authorize, it's something else. So just be careful. You want signature requested, and you want the message to seem like, I crafted this message, seem like it's obvious. And we'll go to another website in a second that is doing this. But I want you to just remember that's the case. It's going to be different. Polygon. I'm going to go to a different website. Where's the bridge? Bridge. When I go to this particular website, I'm going to click on it. I trust this website. When I click on it, it's going to, I think, hold on a second. Okay, we'll try it. What happened? Something, the pop-up, I think, got a little bit confused. But there's different websites that do different things. Let's go to a different one. I want you to all follow me along if you can. Testnets.opensea.io. Testnets, as in more than one. Test nets, as in we're fishing. .opensea.io. When you go there, you'll be in the most famous NFT marketplace out there. There are several other ones. This is one of the most famous ones. And I'm logged in, but let me log out. So here I am logged in. I'm going to click on it automatically. Let me try it over here. Let me see if I can do it in incognito mode. Oh, I don't have the browser, so bear with me here. I'm going to try. Let's do. We're developers, right? We can fudge things around so they don't know who I am. Talk to me. Has someone said something?
Yeah. So, Damian, I was successful in raising it in the browser. It says sign this message, and then it goes, this is NFT minting page asking you to prove who you are. So is that, so I'm in the right place?
You're on the right. And yeah. No, Tal, thank you very much. I think there's a lot of people that, please unmute yourselves. We're an open, we can open discussion, even if you have a little bit to contribute or a lot to contribute. This is your place to do it. What I just want to point out is there is a difference between signing a request. So I'm going to sign a message with my private key, but not sign a transaction or authorize the website to do transactions for me. OpenSeas can do that, so I can bid. I can say, oh, look, there's a NFT. I want to buy it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do it. I am asking in this website to sign a message. And so it's very clear. This says signature requested. Ignore what it says here. That also tells you that it's me. But more importantly, up here, I want you to say signature requested. Up from here to here, this is not me. I don't have control of this. By me, I mean the website. But this I have control. This text message inside here, I have control. So I had it there. And when you sign, I have a signed version of your message. I then communicate to the backend. It says I have a signed message. I don't know the private key. I have the signed message. Let me do it like this. So you guys can see me up here. I have the signed message and what the message was, and I can compare both of them, and out comes your public key. And your public key in crypto world means something that I can pay into, and that's all I can do. I'm using it by saying, this is your signed message. This is your original one that I asked you to sign. And so therefore, I know I get an account out of this combination. We'll see the code in just a minute. I'll get an account information. I do not get your private key, which is good. I get an account, and I can not only say, well, that's you, but I can say with authority that it's you. In other words, no one else here in this call or the world, none of the 7 billion people plus in the world can ever fake your signature. If the message and your signed version connect together, you get your account, and there's only one account that's going to come out of that, and there's only one way to do that. So that's how I authorize that on it. I happen to then use that to go ahead and mint an NFT for you, but that's irrelevant. I have proof by your message and your signed message and my message combined account. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, so you actually do the minting as soon as that happens. You create a fresh NFT, a unique.
Yes, sir.
a unique NFT just for me, so to speak.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Where's the NFT, Damian? Were we supposed to get that in our
Great
wallet?
question. Because of the fact that, believe it or not, there was a little bit of an expense, was an expensive to create the NFT contract. It was more than I had in my wallet. I've created it in the testnet.
Okay.
That's what I want you all to go to, testnet. Yeah. So if you, I do apologize. I will figure out how to get you all that in the regular network, but it is a testnet. So if we log in and I go to my collection, so go to I put it in the chat. Go to testnets, as in more than one, testnet, fishing.opensea.io. I put it in the chat. And if you click on up here, you're going to be asked the same question as you are on my website to sign up. Again, I wanted this to happen. It's not really happening. Let me see if I can. It's like skipping that part. I have put my picture, and this is some of my tests, with my picture and some of the things I've been doing tests on, all that, the logo. You will, at this moment, you should see at least one. Maybe you have more. One of the most recent ones will be one like this. I had a little bit of a bug, so they will not have that picture, but it will say it's the FloridaJS presentation. I would love to hear if you are getting it, and I don't mind to hearing if you are not.
I got it.
Thank you, Alfred. Thank you. Is there no there's no picture, right?
No picture.
Yeah, I don't want to know what it is. I promise.
It says number 12 over here.
Nice. So you got the best one.
I got number
12.
I got number 3.
Number 3, that's not as good. 12 is better. No offense.
I have 7.
Perfect.
How did we get to your page? Okay, so we're at testnets OpenSea.io. Then what?
So great question. So if you want to go to my particular page, you would have to go to a particular address to see my collection. But here's the trick, by the way. Go to the top right corner of OpenSea's, testnets at OpenSea.com. Over here, you'll get a message that looks like this. You click there, and then all of a sudden you'll be asked to connect with your MetaMask. And Tal, do this. You can do this, and it works beautifully on the phone. Everybody else says it's on the browser. It works for you great on the browser, as long as you use the MetaMask plugin or MetaMask app. I'm going to click on the MetaMask. A pop-up will come up in yours, and to ask you to sign. Look at it carefully. It should ask you to sign, not to authenticate. I can try. I wonder if I can. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to try logging off. So bear with me, folks. I'm going to close Chrome. See if I've signed up. Leave the website. Yes. We'll talk about that later. That's the contract, by the way. It's my beautiful family in Paris. Very lucky to have gone there. I'm going to come back in my browser. Let's see, come back up. Okay. Come here. Oh, that's our where's the login? I'm going to try what hopefully you guys will all say. Let me know if you are seeing what's going on there. Wonderful. So it's going to ask me for my password. I'm going to over here and type in my, nickname as a child. I'm going to click on it.
Now we know the password.
Now you know. And so it came in here, and you should all come to a webpage that, of course, has your information. It will have anonymous user 5 if you haven't signed in. It will not have this pretty picture if you call it a pretty picture, but it will have a NFT. Anybody that has successfully plugged in and gone in.
Do I click collections?
Oh yeah.
I have gone in.
Where do you see the connections? So you mean here?
I did that already. I signed in. Then,
so when you click on it, the pop-up comes up with MetaMask, and you should be able to. It should say, would you like to sign this message? And it'll say you're logging in to MetaMask, blah blah, bunch of things.
Yeah, I think so.
And I noticed that that everybody more or less will get to this page. I'm going to put it in the chat. This is the chat for the thing. So everybody, once they've done that, unless you clicked around, but once you've done that, you should get to testnets.openseas.io/account. Again, your picture might be blank. It might say something like anonymous, but you will see a collection, and you should see, if you went to the other website first, this as a picture without missing the picture. Again, I apologize, but it has the information, and it is an NFT. It's just missing the picture. Now, again, I don't know why, but that is the information.
Okay, mine says unnamed, but I do not
Perfect.
have anything.
You don't have a collection, right?
It says no items to display.
Perfect. So I want you to come in here, and let me see if everything's going well. Unless it crashed or something like that. Let me see. Oh my! It looks like oh no, we weren't getting any crashes. So now that you have your account, you can go to nft.floridajs.com. nft.floridajs.com. It is a secure website. You can then click here on Get Your NFT, and you can see the source code. We'll see it in a minute. Once you do that, it'll come up with a message up here which says signature requested. Then it will go ahead and say those words. This is FloridaJS minting page asking you to prove that you are who you are. And then you click on sign. It will get a message either saying one per customer because you already got one, or it'll say you've been minted an NFT.
Mine just says connect with MetaMask, and then it shows my account. Then I have the next button. So
okay,
just gonna click next, connect.
Yep.
I've got some questions.
Tell me, Alfred.
So I'm I've got this blue dot over here instead of where your picture is.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I go to profile.
Yes.
And wait, it's not doing anything now. Okay, so I go to okay.
The profile might be the same page. So
okay.
You might
Right. So it's saying unnamed over here, and I'd like to
Absolutely. So you should see a little, because you've proven who you are is the reason you're in. It isn't just a random number. It is you. And so up here, there'll be a button here. You can change a picture. Perhaps you can choose a nice picture.
I tried to do that. When I did that, it asked me. So MetaMask notification came up, asked me to sign it, and when I signed it, oh, wait a second.
Okay.
Last time I got an error, and this time I'm not getting an error.
Yeah, I'm getting an error too.
It was because I was hitting the different pencil, right? There's there's the pencil at the top, and then there's the pencil in the circle.
Yes.
And I had hit the pencil in the circle, and now I've got like these two circles racing around.
Yes.
And well, so I'm not getting the one at the top. I'm getting it inside what is the gray circle, which has your picture on yours.
Right.
So do we know what's going on here? Should I?
So it might be just MetaMask is a third party, so you might have MetaMask acting weird, but you should have gone in when you clicked on. I clicked on this picture in the background. It asked me what I was hoping to show you everybody before, and here it is. It's saying signature is requested. Here's the website that confirms. Okay, cool. That matches. I can see the message. I'm asking to sign. Here's the important thing. I'm asking to sign, not to approve transactions. I'm to sign. I'm okay with signing. It says welcome to MetaMask. Blah blah blah. It's telling me the conditions and blah, things like that. I'm like, yep. I'm going to do that, and then it allows me to put in something in here. Okay. And similar to what you're doing in there, again, it could be something you close your browser, come back in. It could be coming back and doing.
So, sorry.
No, go.
I went to NFT Florida JS.com, and I think I'm good now because the final message was something about successfully minted or something.
Excellent.
Like that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Testnets.
So go to now back to look in the chat, the testnets.openseas.io, and then click on the top right corner where it has your profile. It has a little profile picture. Click on that, and you'll get the message you saw a second ago on my screen, which is allowed you to prove who you are by signing a message. Again, not authorizing a transaction. There's a difference. Signing a message, and go.
Okay. So I had done that first. I had done the OpenSea first. Then I went to NFT.florida.js, right? Then now that works, then I went back and click on my profile again. Now I am seeing something. I got number 14.
Perfect.
Okay.
So what? Excellent. I think it was Alfred that. Oh no, Dari asked, would I get a unique? No, Tal. Would I get a unique NFT? Here's something I wanted to share. NFTs come in collections. Now we could create a single. The collection is essentially the contract. What you heard, the smart contract. The collection of NFTs is the smart contract here. And this is a bad example, but let me give you a better example. When I was making it work here. Here would be an example. You would see a collection with information, and you would see the other NFTs. If you go to the collection that you have right now, you'll see a blank page, and you'll see information about this NFT, about the collection. But notice that, as you kind of already hinted at, that there is multiple, and there is a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. And just to be clear, I'm not trying to hide anything here. Because of the cost, I did this on the test network. And just like we have a test server that we as developers push to where everybody can see what's going on, there is a blockchain test network. It is not a side change or some competitor. It isn't. There is no fee. That's why you see me that apparently I have $50,000, $64,000. I'm doing even better. This is not what I have in stocks. Don't come over to my house. I'm not going to be able to send you this. In fact, I'll send you all of them right now because it is fake money. We are sitting on the test network, as you can see up here.
So just a quick question. So I have an orange banner at the top of my screen saying that you are on the test network. I just lost the screen. He says, but you already have something on the main network.
You might. I mean, you yourself might have some NFTs already, and which is again, if I switch to the regular one by taking out the word test networks, it is a similar interface.
So if I grabbed the NFT before, and now I'm on testnet's OpenSea, we're dealing with the same NFTs, and so it's telling me that now. So when I grabbed it before, I was grabbing it from the mainnet. It says I was grabbing it from the mainnet, or I already have this on the mainnet.
I'm in control of the NFTs, so I publish them. You didn't when you clicked on the button that you saw originally. One of the things you've seen in the past is how you can pay for an NFT, and then you get the NFT and blah 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 blah. I did something a little bit different. Again, I'm going to go to the source code in just a minute, but here I only asked for your address, communicated to the backend, communicated your signed message to the backend. The signed message decrypted your signed message and found your account, not your private key. I cannot ever get your private key, just your account. And in the backend, and I'll show it in a second, I, through the test network, send it to you. Now, what you may have seen is when you click on this MetaMask, you would tell on the very bottom right, you're going to have on the mobile, you're going to have this option. You can choose which network you are connected to, because MetaMask is truly the one that connects to the network. I know we went to a website that says test nets and all that, but if I switch to the main net, then you can see I have a little bit less money than you saw a second ago. Now you feel sorry for me. And more importantly, it lets me know things like, hey, your wallet, you're viewing data from your test network, but you are connected to the main network on your wallet. So when I go to OpenSeas, I'm going to go to a new website. And in here, you're gonna be sad because you have some beautiful pictures, but there's nothing in my collection. How disappointing. So that's something just to be aware of. One, where the website is doing its work, and two, where you are, and you choose that on the mobile on the bottom right, where you can change the networks, and on the browser by clicking on the icon for MetaMask and then clicking on the Ethereum. If you don't have any test networks, there's a setting, and we'll talk about that in a second. In fact, you'll see this show or hide test networks. And I click on this one, the Rinkeby test network, where I'm doing all the work that you're seeing there. That kind of give you some ideas, Tal? Talk to me.
Kind of. If I was on the main net, I mean, we're literally directly on the Ethereum network, which apparently it's expensive to get on.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If we were, we would do things, but remember, in my example here, and I'll go into the code in just a minute. In my example, I'm doing all the work on the back end. In others, you've seen where, for example, there is the, Dari, help me out, which is the one in South Florida, the squid one? Squig group?
What?
Squig Society?
Oh, shrimp.
Shrimp Society. So the Shrimp Society has a famous NFT, and in it, you interact with it and you have to buy it. In mine, it isn't that I'm doing anything weird. I'm doing something unusual, and you may need to do this in the future. I'm going to give you away all my secrets to do that in just a second in the source code. You'll see it in a second. You'll be able to go to it. But I'm doing things on the back end. And you'll see that on the back end, this is happening, right? So, there is some information. So it isn't, so there is a network you have to choose on the MetaMask. I'm doing it on the browser in the top right corner, clicking on the mask. If you're on the mobile app in the bottom right corner, there is select networks. There is that, which is what you connect to, and two, there is what the website expects to connect to. And the website at any one moment is telling you, hey, it's telling you, I see, says MetaMask, that you're on the test network on your browser, but this ain't the test network website. So if you're not seeing your collection, switch to the test network. So I'm going to click on it. Now I've switched to the test network. And when I go to my collections, I do see all the different collections in my test network that I work on and I play with and I do my development on.
It says that I'm on the Ethereum main network. So
yes, and you'll notice that because of the fact that they kind of, if you notice that all the networks are the same, the idea is just like, where do you interact? You can hit some of the websites with your main network, even though those websites live on, say, the test network. And because the address is valid and lives on both networks, I take that address and I do my magic and I send you a free test one and all that. So it's not crazy that you were like, let's do that, right? Here I am. I'm on the main network and I can go to my website and I can go click and I'm signing as if I'm the main network. And it goes like, hey, you already have one. Well, I don't have one, as you saw a second ago in my network. What happened? Well, this particular website, in this example, interacts only with the test network. This website here in this example also interacts with the test network. So I'm seeing my list of test network NFTs.
Okay, I got the same orange banner as you have right now. Yeah.
Right. Because it's true. I'm on the main network, but the website is on the test network. Once I switch both the website and my wallet to the test network, then it's happy and it doesn't give me an announcement saying what's going on. You're in the wrong place. So that's something to be aware of as developers, as business aficionados, as NFT lovers, crypto aficionados. We have a test network. So if you see something and you're like, oh, it sounds unbelievable cheap, what's going on? You just be aware that which network you're in. There will be no question about it, because you control where your wallet is, regardless of where the website lives. And then if you can see something, you can see what's going on in these test wallets, and you can see you'll see activity here that you don't see when I switch to the main network, because there's no hiding it, right? This is different activity. There's no hiding the network to the website. The website can't ever pretend to be in the where we can do some tricks where your wallet was in the test network, but it did it in the main network. No. You're in control of where you do it and where it interacts, because Metamask that interacts with the network for you.
Mhm.
So just be conscious of what you're doing and what different websites, and also think of what you can do where, for example, if you did have $64,000 in your account, maybe move that off to not an offline wallet, just another wallet that maybe sits on your phone, and then you can transfer money into these sort of hot wallets, as they call it, where you do your interaction, where you only have $1,000 or $2,000 in there, if that's a comfortable amount that you're okay working with or moving things around.
Or even better, have a ledger, right? Have a physical wallet.
Yes, that's even better. There's apps that essentially have some other steps forward. If you haven't noticed, whenever I've sort of started and stopped the MetaMask, it has asked me for a password. So I'm not going to go somewhere. All of a sudden, the system's going to see my account. Nope. I went to a notorious website. I mistyped Facebook.com with a U, and boom, it got my account and sent me $1,000 from it. No, it can never do that. It asks you for a password, and then ideally the hardware, it can, not just MetaMask, but other wallets can interact with an external, little device you have, which plugs into your USB or works with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and then really you sign with your fingerprint or with a button. At least there's a physical button that says yes, sign. I'm okay with that, and so that's an important thing to think about. I'm going to go into the source code and what the website does. Any questions at this moment? So if we remind ourselves, our website was quite simple. It did two things. I'm going to look at the source code in just a minute. It is a Node website. There is a backend. The backend is what's doing some of the magic. So I'll go through some of the things. First, in the front end, if you do have any questions, please speak up. There's no problems and no issues, and I will answer any questions I can. Someone else says, oh no, that's something else. Okay. So I'm seeing on the right-hand side all the servers. I'm monitoring the server that's on the back. So let's look at that. This is a traditional Node application. So there is I tend to name my server after the project. There's a reason behind this, and I'll go to this in 1 second. But what you can see, it's a traditional Node. If you're not comfortable with Node and you're comfortable with other backend services, don't worry about it. You'll get roughly the same idea. I'm going to look at what the front data looks like. This is what the HTML looks like. Let's ignore, obviously, the basic HTML and look at some of the things that we have here. This is one of the keys. The moment any wallet signs up, then all of a sudden you have something in your Windows object in JavaScript. Again, this is on the front page. This is HTML. This is JavaScript. This is running on your browser. And this one has Windows.Ethereum. And I say, hey, if you don't have that, I'm going to do a pop-up saying, hey, we need some kind of hardware wallet. So that's one of the ways that we interact with it. Notice it didn't say things like address or things like that, only that it's answering the Ethereum there. And until you do interactions with it, you don't have anything to choose. We talked about ethers.js. Here's the ethers.js being imported at the very top of the page. Again, as a traditional, very boring website. This gives me that Windows.Ethereum access. I make a request using this library. This is the line that makes the system pop up. I have this after the button when you click on it. This line right here, let me see if I can make it a little bit wider for anybody. This line right here makes MetaMask saying, oh, look, it's asking for the address. I'm sorry, my apologies. My apologies. It's just setting up something. It's about to get the address in here. But I have a feeling at this moment, if we were to debug, I'm almost sure that at this moment, it's asking for the pop-up. I'm almost sure. It asks for a provider. This is how we remember that the connection. MetaMask really connects to a third party, Infura in this case, and it's getting that connection with the blockchain because it's not really accessible from your browser. It's going through a third party, in this case, Infura. It's getting a signer, essentially something that is just a reference to the signer of the Web3 of what you're doing, and it's signing a message. The message is predefined over here just as a text. This is Florida, blah 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 blah. This comes back with a signature. Again, this line here has asked MetaMask, hey, this is the message I want you to sign. The pop-up has happened. And now we can go ahead and get the actual signature of the, not the signature, a signed copy of the message. So again, I'm asking MetaMask to use its private key to cryptographically sign a message. One more time, the message is up here. It will then reply with a signature, a complex, long message, which is a signed version. At this moment, I don't have anything to do with the private. I don't know anything. But since I know the original message and then the result, then I can figure out the signature. I don't care. I will do that in the back end for different reasons. I can explain a little bit more into it why. And I'm just hitting the back end. And if the backend doesn't reply with an error, if it does, I'm going to alert you of the error. If it doesn't reply, I'm going to tell you, hey, mint it here. So, hey, MetaMask, sign this with me, for me. Don't tell me the private signature. Just give me the signed message. This is the original signed message. It goes here. Here you go. Because the user has interacted, put in his password. You have all interacted, put in your password, and clicked on OK. Yes, I'm OK. I got the message back as the website owner, and then I'm hitting the backend and passing the signature, not the address. There's a key Y in this case. Before we continue on, this happened when you clicked on the button. Any questions at this moment with this code or anything else related to this? We'll look at the backend in just a second.
Yes. Hi, Damian. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can.
Coming to you from Colorado briefly.
Nice.
We'll be back in Florida probably tomorrow, hopefully.
Oh, man, you should have been there with East Denver was there. Talk to me.
Is that Peter?
It is.
Peter, you spelled your name wrong.
All right. Quick question, Damian.
Yes, sir.
Interestingly, var was used to declare the variables up above the async function. I was just curious
Love
about
this
that.
question.
If you can expand on
Yes. Excellent. So I tend to, great question, Peter. The reason why I did that is originally I always think of, I'm so old, Peter, that I think of compatibility. And const and let have been around since probably 2010. So if I'm trying to do Web3 stuff with something that is from a browser that's from 2010, I'm in trouble, right? The Internet Explorer does not have a plugin for Web3 and for Ethereum. So it is silly for me to think that way, but that was my choice. I wasn't trying to do anything magic. I wasn't doing any hoisting or anything like that. Just, I'm an old man, so my mind thinks in like covering his bases. But as you can see, I tried to cover bases. So this is valid. but it wouldn't work. Hopefully this would have worked, and it would have thrown an alert in the Internet Explorer going,
Damian,
who in the world still uses Internet Explorer? Yes, sir.
In other words, your browser inclusive.
I'm browser inclusive. I love that, my friend. You are wonderful with that.
Even
yes.
Netscape?
Even Netscape. No. Yes, you're right. And you're right. Netscape would air this out nicely. It would be a nice air. You open it up on a 20-year-old computer with a browser you haven't uploaded in 20 years. This website would start and would give you a message saying you cannot continue because you have your crypto wallet. Now, all it's going to do is an alert, and it's going to continue different things, but there's other things that would fail.
I think all these computers were taken out of circulation, Damian.
I think so. I think they should be. I think anything that's older than a year should be gone. No.
There was a recall for every computer that was made prior to 2010. They recalled all of them.
I had a conversation with some of the students, and so Dari is a teacher. That's why he's so I like went to talking. And I to some of your students, and what was amazing is that I told them in some situations, maybe you want to be something like a Salesforce, and the beauty of being exclusive and being on this little tiny world where you live on a little tiny world where it has one way of things, one way, one language, one way of doing databases, one way of interacting with a website, means that you don't have to worry about all these billions of browsers and sizes and things like that. So absolutely. So that's the beauty, not having to be inclusive. I'm trying to be as inclusive as possible.
Makes sense.
So thank you. We interacted with Ethereum. I'm asking Metamask to sign. It signs it for me once the user interacts with the website. And there's no way for me to hack this or fake it or push it or do anything. I then send it to the backend in the encrypted way. And this is important. I'm going to go back and what happened here? So that was the backend. I'm going to go into what the server looks like just for curiosity. There's not much to the server. Here's the server. Even if you don't know Node, you can just follow along. And it goes to /mint, and then it passes my address. I check. This is why I have a simple, basic, boring test. If I reboot the server, it resets this. I check if I've already given you an NFT. I have. Well, then I reply back with an error, right? Then that's where you saw that error happening in the reply. I haven't. Then I'm going to go ahead and utilize this library, which I've created, and I'm going to mint it. I'm going to hold down the command key or control key on the Windows, command key on the Mac. I'm going to click on it, and come on, precise preview. Really? I thought it was going to jump there. Doesn't it jump there? That sucks. All right. So let's go to the Mint project. This uses something called hard hat. I'm just doing some of the work. I totally forgot to show it in the slides, so you have to take with me. And some of the magic happens here. So some of the magic I want you all to understand happens with Web3. Just boilerplate. And this is the method. And it receives a signature. So assigned. So this is wrong. I don't receive an address. I received a signed message. I know what the message is. So I happen to hard code it here. And again, using var because I'm silly. And then this is the magic here. This guy with the Web3JS, which we talked about earlier, will receive a signed message. This is the message. This is the signature, the signed message, long as encrypted version. And what it originally was, from those two things, I can get back an address. Okay. Any questions about this? This is the backend. I received the signature. I passed it on to Web3 with the original message that I signed, and I got the address. I didn't get much else. I got some basic information, but not much else. I got this address. This address, I go ahead and mint something here, and I'll go through it here, but it'll be a little bit over people's heads, but I'll go through it. At this moment, This code right here, as it is right now, would allow you to replace sign in with Google, sign in with Firebase, sign in with Facebook, with what we just saw already, would replace an authentication system that is what OpenSea uses, which cannot be, there's no two-factor authentication needed, because essentially if you have the wallet, you're in, right? And there's no way to fake the wallet. No one's going to steal your wallet. Even if they've convinced you to give them all your money, they cannot sign something as you. So this, what you have highlighted right now, combined with what you saw earlier, is how I would build a system that allowed people to log in, quasi-anonymous, like we talked about earlier, with a way that I could guarantee that it's you. I don't know who you are, but I know you were here before, or I know you are brand new. Similar how we do this integration here, right? How we sign in, oops, sorry, wrong example. How we sign in to OpenSea. I did not sign in with my Firebase, my Twitter, my username and password. I simply signed a transaction and I was in. And the magic is just this, right? This is the line that does it. This is the library I'm using, Web3. In a minute, I'm going to show you what the JavaScript looks like, and I'll give some caveats. But in a minute, we'll talk about how I minted a brand new NFT without much, hubbub, in 2 lines in JavaScript. Any questions at this moment? We're going over. Please.
Yes.
You have a comment?
I was gonna say this is incredible. We've talked about this so many times.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever looked at the code, the simplicity of it.
Yes.
The computing that.
You're absolutely right, Dari. I love that. I love how it is and all that. So and like we tell the students, and this has happened. Hopefully, maybe you are much smarter than I am, but it's happened to me a million times where it's like I have spent 3 hours working on something, and at the end when I check it in, it's 3 lines of code, and it does some amazing things. And this is one of those amazing things. But it is amazing how it is simple, and then you can do it in lines. Peter, you had something you mentioned?
Yes, just a quick question on the code. The console logs here were just for your testing purposes. You wouldn't normally.
It is.
If you were building a sign-in system, like if I wanted to build it into my project, for example,
Yes.
Instead of Google to have a sign-in with your wallet,
Yes.
I wouldn't leave console log in the production version. Of this, right?
Excellent point. I let a little bit out. I love this question. I love that, Peter. I have. Let me see if I can give it away. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's do this. I have the console log. I'm going to quickly. I don't know if I give me a second. I have something on the screen. I don't want to. When I console log on my server, it does pop out on my server, and I'm monitoring it, and it's a production server. So I see when we run the sample API. So the backend having console logs is not crazy, especially if there's an error. And if you go to console.error, it will come up in red on some monitoring software. In the AWS and Firebase and all those, you will get a log which gives you information about it. So on the back end, it's not ridiculous to do console log. Now, you caught me, I console log on the front end. That's where you want to eliminate it, just because it looks a little bit amateurish. In the sense that if you were all looking, so let's go to if I went and here and, oh my goodness. Oh, wow, what happened? Oh, I just closed. That's nice. If I were to see something, what's happening in the front end, here's the front end. Sorry, that's not the front end. Here's the front end. I do have a console log here. Right. This looks amateurish. So when you went to the website, you saw in a minute, as I was doing signature, and it spits out the signature. It's cute to see it, not very professional. On the back end, it actually is communicating things. And if you, just to let you know, there are systems that will do different levels, and we communicate instead of just system.log. We do different ones. We do log and warning, and then they get separated, and we can turn on different levels. And so there is something, and on the back end, it is used. And I'm seeing, for example, that there's that someone hit the sample APIs. Let me see if I can collapse this so I don't show up too many things. This is, while we were running this live, I was, of course, monitoring the server for which I have everything, including sample APIs. Some of you know sample APIs. If you don't, go to sample APIs, please. You have a lot of different APIs, like the Bitcoin price from 2010 to now, every single month, and the changes per month and all that, some wonderful stuff. But for example, someone hit it and I saw an error because I have console.logs on the production deliver server, and I can see that someone hit it. As they see it, it pops up on my log. And so on the back end, it's okay to run the console logs. We shouldn't go crazy with silly things like minting. We should use it more for errors and something where I truly want to do something about it. This is me, of course, debugging, like seeing what am I getting back here. And so it's not required, right? But, so this one, again, I'm checking what I'm getting back from this reply, not required. But it's not crazy to have certain ones. I would love that question, by the way, Peter. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Peter, I guess let's
Yeah,
please. I can add a lot more context. I don't want to take over.
Tell me.
No, I mean, I was thinking, yes. So you sort of mentioned it. All the web service providers, like the GCP, AWS. Now, when you do console log, it does show up. Now, there's also a case to be made in addition to the different level of logging. What are you logging? Enfoing, warning, or erroring? It would show a different color, or you can pause through them. There's also some application like Bugsnag, or some other third party that they specialize in
monitoring,
doing a lot of reporting.
Parsing.
Bring those things in, do a lot of reporting and parsing them. That makes it much easier for you later on when you go look at all of them. You know what bug is recurring how. It could be hard, especially when you're in production. There's thousands of people going through your system. You see a lot of the error, just hundreds and hundreds of logs. It could be a nightmare to go through it. So having some of the systems sometimes makes it much easier for you to see, okay, what is the most important, what's recurring, and what bug is happening all the time.
Right.
Allow you to do some, especially in distributed system, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. And one of the things you could also do is add, for example, where you are. I want to say that I'm on this file and I'm on this method, and I'm doing, for example, be as verbose as possible,
100%.
but be in an order. And then just like Dari says, that way we can filter it that way. Love that conversation. Cool. Let me give you some of the details of how, again, this is available for free on github.com/the/Damian/FloridaJS NFT. You can see exactly what the project is, and it's doing a lot of things in here. It's both authenticating you by your address as opposed to your email or your password or anything like that. And it's also minting an existing, it's communicating, let's get to it. Right here, using the ethers library, but being wrapped around something called hard hat, but don't worry too much about it. You can clone this project and utilize some of it. I'm asking to get a particular contract. Remember that Ethereum and all these smart contracts, there's a single contract, and all NFTs, let's just say Bored Apes, one of the most famous NFTs, there is a single contract, and all the Bored Apes, all, I don't know, 50,000 or how many there are, live inside this one contract. So as you guys all noticed, I have number 2, Dari has number 3, someone else had the best one ever, number 12. You know what I mean? Alfred had one, number 12. And so they all belong to a single contract. And so I start the connection by asking for it. And if I happen to have it, and I knew, once I deployed this contract, which I will look at in just a second, I don't think we should go too much into it. I'll quickly go into it. You can see it right now, and that's you can go live. And by the way, you don't have to go and say, oh, quickly, let me write that down so I can look into it. You can literally go to your collection click on the collection on OpenSea, and then go ahead and view the contract, and you'll see this number up there, as well as all the transactions, as well as all the people that got it. Sorry, I should have told everybody else that now we got you. So we ask for, tell me, Tal.
Yeah, so when we go to the blockchain for the contract is presumably a data file, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we have a data file that's on the blockchain. What is the size, ballpark? What's the size or the maximum size I can put on the blockchain?
Maximum. It's all a matter of what's going on here. Why don't I have? It's all a matter of. Go for it.
Well, the actual image. Let's say we have a Bored Apes NFT. The image of that NFT, is it stored on the blockchain, or simply we have a token? The token is stored in the blockchain, but not the actual JPEG.
We have that. We have a token. Okay, so let's look at it, and you'll see that exactly that right now. My chair keeps on falling for some reason. I think we have to replace my chair. So we create the contract, say contract as this name with this address. This is the unique address that's up there. And then we say mint NFC, and the mint usually takes two things, that can't take a third one. The to address, your address. Remember, I decrypted it from the message. So here's my to address. In other words, who is going to be receiving this to? Mm-hmm. And then a JSON file that describes the token. And so you hit it now on the head. The only thing I'm putting into the blockchain is who receives this and a link to this. That's all I'm putting in there. And what does this do?
So the blockchain,
go for
blockchain is a JSON file of what, a dozen fields or less?
Yes, you can see them right now on the screen.
So it's pretty concise.
Very concise.
Okay, good. But now this image here has to be stored somewhere. And what prevents that image from being altered? So I have a Bored Apes JPEG sitting somewhere, okay, and I could, put sunglasses on them, right, or whatever, or so how does that work?
So perfect. I love this question. Let's go through it one more time. I connected, and again, there's a single subscription. We'll look at what that contract looks like in a minute, but think of it like there's a contract, and I interact, and I have control over it. That's important part of it. And so therefore I say connect to one particular method. A contract is simply a program. You'll see it in a minute. Looks like JavaScript. It's not. It's Solidity in this case for this particular thing. And we say this person, Tal in this case, is going to receive and then we're going to define what it is here. And I've hard coded this here. What I'm trying to say with that is that this particular message here is hard coded to everybody being the same. In the Bored Apes question here, I put something that would be unique. A unique JSON file that describes the one Bored Apes that Tal has. And I'm going to give a different Bored Apes with a different JSON file to Dari. And I'm going to have a third one to Alfred. But in the example of today, everybody got this one. Okay, so we said we're going to add one to the existing ones. So I got 2, Dari has 3, Alfred has 12, but we're all having the exact same thing. What does it include in there? Here's one of the things that we talked about. It includes the image. That's the most important thing. In today's example, the image that I wanted to showcase would be one that I'm going to host myself on my own website that I own. It is common to host it on something called IPFS. Just bear with me here, and let's not talk about that for 1 second. So at this moment, we're going to host it on my own image. And here's where your some of the things you asked about there. The NFT can have attributes. And these attributes can be defined in the contract. So there's no question about it. Thank you. Thank you, baby. I got dinner. That's nice. Baby. So man, I love this chair and it's falling. So if you see me slowly, the attributes that point to your Bored Apes having sunglasses as opposed to my Bored Apes that has regular glasses or Darius that has no glasses gets deposited here. But the truth is that this is simply a way to communicate with the world what this is defined as. The actual truth is that the image will have already your picture. So here under the attributes, I say, I don't have glasses, but the picture was there was a mistake and I uploaded a picture with glasses. The picture on the OpenSeas and your wallet and your MetaMask will have glasses. Okay, so that's truly the picture. Give me 1 second. I have to put the dog inside again. Come on. So, you know what I mean? So the like you said, Tal, very well. When I gave you all NFTs, I told this contract that you should get this NFT, which happens to be like everybody else's, but who cares about that? I get this one NFT for you, happens to match everybody else's, but let's just continue with that. This NFT has some details on it. One of them is that it belongs to the collection number 0, because we all start at 0, we're programmers, and that the image should be this way. And I made a mistake in something. Go for it. Tell me.
If I were to click that last link right now, I would get the quote unquote NFT.
Let's do it.
So
what up here? Oh, hold on. Come on.
Because that's just a URL right there.
It is. 100%. That was supposed to be the NFT you got. And I can explain what the mistake was on my code. I made it last minute. I can explain what it is, but it's not very exciting. Okay. You should have all gotten as the NFT. You should have all gotten the exact same one, but you should have gotten, and it was the exact same one, not because the picture was the same. It was the exact same one because the NFT's JSON file, what describes the NFT, this is what this URL up here was what was written on the blockchain. Not this, but this.
I'm sorry, what was written on blockchain? This whole JSON file was written?
No. That's the important thing. The URL up here was the only, what you see at the very top of the screen, that was the only thing written to the NFT. The contracts only has that URL and nothing else. OpenSea says, really? Yes, exactly. Oh, you have an NFT? Cool. Let me look up. Oh, the NFT has nothing but a URL. I'm cool with that. Let me look up what the JSON file in that NFT has. And then it makes a website call, like regular fetch, as boring as that is, finds this stuff and then makes a decision.
Wait, hold on, Damian.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
With that, that URL, that yes. JSON, where is it hosted?
In my occasion on GitHub. And again, the mistake is.
So I own a Monkomon, for example, yes. And I'm guessing there's JSON somewhere.
Yep.
In those instances, where are those things hosted? Are they always hosted on?
Right. Let's try it. I'm sorry. Let's do it even better. OpenSeas. Here it is. I'm going to search Bored Apes.
I'm going to find out which. Are you on the test network?
Oh, thank you, my friend. I'm on the regular.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is just telling me that I'm logged in. Let's log in with a normal network.
Cool.
Click here.
Cool. I see.
Go to main. Nothing's important. I'm not gonna buy any Bored Apes today. Let's just say this is not Bored Apes. I don't think this is the real one. But let's just say this is the real one. I think it is. As you see, this is the real one. This is a fake one. And this is also a fake one.
When you say fake, what do you mean? Because it looks exactly like the real deal.
That's a great question. What I mean is that I'm wrong with that one. But for example, this one is the Bored Apes Chemistry Club.
Okay.
Right.
So the one that's the barrel. Yeah. Yeah, that one's clearly not.
This one's verified. This one's a real one.
Okay.
So let's click on this one. So let's look at this. This is, let's look what's going on here. In here, I see different things about it. Floor price and owners, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Items, these are some of the different ones. Cool. I can click on that, but essentially it brings me back here. Let me see if I can click on one and get the details about it. When I click on this, one of the options here is Etherscan. Let's see, I'm going to click on here. That's the main website. So there's nothing special about that. I'm going to close this. Over here, one of these should give me some details. So this is number 852. So there's nothing special about this other than it belongs to, there's the contract address. I'm going to click on it with a command key and a new tab will open up, and it's Ethereum. So this is what it is at. Over here, there's some details about it. So this is who created it. The Bored Ape people created it. This is what transaction gave it to the person that owns it. These are the people that have owned it over time. Apparently this is it's a little bit strange. There's a lot of movement. There's no way this is true. Okay. In here, this, and I do apologize, I meant this is the contract. Again, this is what the contract looks like.
For all of the Bored Ape.
For all of them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for that.
That's 40,
not for this one.
Yeah, 40,000 transactions. Yeah. Okay.
That's
so in a sense, the blockchain is a big honking set of key value pairs where the key is the token and the value is points to the contract.
That's right.
That contract then points to the picture or other assets.
That's right. Let's look at the picture right now. IPFS.io/IPFS/ the address that I got here for this information. I'm going to press enter. Oh, why did I not like that? What did I do wrong? Really? Should have liked that. What's going on here? Anyways, that should have, one of these, this is the decompiled, and you have to decompile it, but this is kind of, this is truly what is unique about this Bored Ape Club, and it should end up with a, like I said, I posted yesterday as I was presenting some of the details about it. I think I brought down IPFS, the interplanetary file system, because I was doing some things. So don't blame me, but it's been acting weird lately. But in here, there is a way that we can find the JSON file for this exact token.
So the JSON file is on the IPSF. It's on the interplanetary file system.
It is.
And
this should have been it. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Is it foolproof? How?
It is pretty foolproof. Yeah, the interplanetary system is pretty foolproof. And more importantly than anything is that there's different URLs. This is our famous one, interplanetaryfilesystem.io. But for example, there is cloudflare.interplanetary.io. There's that's not precisely the one that we were looking at here, but it's a different one. And this is the actual picture. And so, like we talked about at the beginning of this presentation, this picture lives outside of OpenSeas. OpenSeas goes out of business, no problem. The Bored Apes go out of business, no problem. The Bored Ape, I go out of business, no problem. The internet goes out of business, well, there's a problem. But as long as the interplanetary file system stays, this picture stays. So it's like my wife's original question, like when GeoCity died, her website died, and that she was running her business on because it was the hosted on GeoCities. But in the future, this Bored Apes will live on into the interplanetary system among, not millions, but let's say hundreds of thousands of computers, all for the purpose of today, helping out by making it more, easier to see, keeping track of the data that belongs to the world, right? This is the picture. There's another one, which is the JSON file. It tells you what's going on with the JSON file. I'm trying to see if I can quickly remember where it was. But if you remember, Dari, we had a customer coming in. They described this crazy NFT idea. They gave us an example, and I simply went to the example, went to the JSON file, looked at it, and I was able to analyze what it was that their amazing example that they found somewhere else was doing it, and then I was able to come back to the client and say, we can do this. And that's the beauty of the blockchain, that once I know one, then I can make copies of it and things like that, right? So that's one of the things that this is where it lives. It lives on an interplanetary file system. It's available on many different URLs, all pointing to the exact same picture. And we can see what's going on.
Are they pointing to the same picture or have a copy of the same picture?
I love that question, Tal. I guess it's a copy, but it is a copy. It is a copy of it.
Because otherwise, you still have a one single point of failure because
you're right.
Modify the picture.
There is no question about it. You're absolutely
well, the way that the underlying file system works is spread that file into chunks and saves it in all the nodes on the network. And once you ask it, it sort of reconstructs it and show it to you, creates some cache and gets a piece of it. I guess that's what it's cryptographically encrypted. I'm guessing that's what makes it sort of foolproof, similar to how the blockchain works itself, right? That's how this file is being stored.
Exactly.
But the blockchain itself is just key value pairs. So that's just the root. Yeah. And then from there, you've got to have all this stuff stored, Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Also distributed,
Yep.
So you could almost make up your own. You should probably use libraries, but you could easily, once you get the root URL, then you can handle it from there. I mean, if you could write a program that could do everything. If you were able to look up for a token the URL, and then from that point on, you could just open a file, go to the next file, and so forth.
Absolutely. And because of the fact that all these Bored Apes are living on a single contract, I can, this was the one that we talked about a little while ago was number, I don't know, 8,000 or something, or whatever. Let's see, 8,520. I can go and find out 8,521, 8,522, and I can look that up. Right, who has my favorite number 6969, right? Who has the number I used to own before and all that? Who's going to have the next one? They haven't released it. Who's going to have the next one? So so just we have to be aware of that. We and we do that in some of the work we did for a customer where we wanted to slowly reveal the NFTs. Well, you can guess that right after 8,520. Anybody's mind when I say it's going to be 8,521, and so that's the next one that's coming in there. So you could guess at that, and there's a way you can find that out. And the code had special things so that it didn't pre-showcase the next one was ready, so that people could bid on it, things like that. So that's something just to be aware of when you do the contracts.
So just one more quick question. So this concept of gas fees applies.
Yes.
You have basically you're paying to put something on the blockchain.
You're paying to interact with the blockchain. You're paying to write to the
blockchain, but to read is free, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool.
Before we go, I think it's almost time to go. Well, a lot of things with and you're welcome. You don't have to go through mine. There's a way you can find it on your own in OpenSea, and I let you do that. But I use one called Remix here. This is an ID that lives online. This contract was on purpose, standing on the shoulders of giants. Open Zeppelin is something else that you want to look into it. I went to Open Zeppelin. There's a wizard. I told it what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it a very simple NFT. I wanted to be able to be minted. I wanted to be able to have URLs. So it was following some different contracts. And then it sort of wrote this for me. I changed my own words up here. I made some choices in here, but that's something just to be aware of. So that's it, folks. We don't have anything else. If you have, it's getting pretty late, but we can quickly do this. Why not, right? If you all want to follow me at win.floridajs. Yep. Oh, we'll start with 21. Don't worry about it. That's fine.
Do I need to do this in MetaMask?
Oh, I love that. Yeah. You're welcome to do so in MetaMask.
Okay, but because I don't have MetaMask on my browser, but I can use a browser and do this right here.
You can use any browser. Yeah. This is nothing to do with this is a free ticket where we will giving away a free license to any software in JetBrains, including, this is all $300. Well, I don't know if JetBrains costs $300 anymore, but it's all free for you to have it. Thank you for signing up. You're welcome to sign up as many times as you'd like, but everybody else will too if you do so. You know what I mean? I want to thank everybody for coming in here. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the comments. I do love when there's more of a conversation. We're FloridaJS. We were the combination of Boca.js and Palm Beach.js, and I was jealous that Palm Beach.js had such wonderful interaction with people. I do want that. I hope we can have it again. Help me out. Reach out to me on the meetup.com/FloridaJS or youtube.com/FloridaJS. Contact me. I'm Damian. Let me know what you want to listen to next. Let me know if you want to present. I would love to have someone else talk other than me talking the whole time. I think everybody's kind of tired of this wonderful brand new technology you've never heard of before and me talking. I thank you all, everybody, for coming here. If you have any questions, let me know, but I think it's time for us to choose some winners. I have on the other end on my phone an administration app. I'm going to press on a button. Thank you, whoever chose that one. And WebSockets will make the button appear. Whoever just signed up, you were signed up in the perfect time. Wherever you are, I need for you to go to Palm Beach Tech. Let's do that. Let's talk about that. I need for you to contact me any which way. Again, meetup.com/FloridaJS. Over here, you will find my contact information here under Damian. You can do it if you come from the blockchain, block meet. You can do the same thing. Some of you may not know this, but there's block meet, which is another crypto-related meetup. If you have found me from there, I'm also there as the contact. Find me there and send me your contact information, number 30. I'm feeling generous, so I think we're going to give it away to somebody else as well. It was number 6. I saw it over here. So whoever, oops, that's none of you. You guys all started at 21, I think it was.
Yeah.
All right, number 24. If you're here, you've won it. If you see 24, especially if you jump it, let me know. Let's see. And number 29. We have 3 to give away. If you do contact me, the first 3 that will contact me will get a free license. It's any software from the JetBrains, which is sponsors that.
Hey, I won.
Ooh, Beach. No, Tech Hub, SouthFlorida.org. One last thing. Dev. So Flow DevCon. Please sign up. We want to have as many people sign up to. That's a free conference that's coming up in the next Friday, not this Friday in 3 days, but next Friday. We'd love to see you there. I'm going to be presenting more featured how to log in with Web3, utilizing much more technology. But actually, you guys kind of got all the details. You can ask me. You can see me there. Me and Dari. I'm just one of the volunteers and one of the speakers. Dari is the master of all the organizers. And talk to us.
Yeah, and I have 2 sessions on DevCon.
Oh, tell me what it's about.
I did see that. I saw that.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to find out about Raspberry Pis,
oh yes,
the hardware and the software.
Yes,
I'm a Python guy, so I love Python. So we'll be doing some Python examples as well.
Wow, you mean a Raspberry Pi? With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Raspberry Pis and zeros on top of it? I want to see how you do this because I've never seen that before.
Okay.
When are you going to be presenting?
You've seen this house. I have 25 Raspberry Pis. 25 running stuff. So they're in the touch displays. They're in the gesture displays. I have it. Anyway, that's one of the sessions. And then the other session I'll be teaching is introduction to machine machine learning using Google Cloud. We'll be talking about vision and language ML. So
I love it.
With Python example.